Hey guys, Multi here. Today I want to talk with you about the Mythic dungeons in World of Warcraft Dragonflight, World of Warcraft Retail. I want to make a tier list for the Mythic dungeons. At the moment I play a lot of Mythic Plus since Season of Discovery slowed a little bit down. I guess I will come back in Phase 2, but let's see. You see my rating here at the moment, so I want to make clear I know what I'm talking about, but I'm far away from being a pro player, super expert or whatever. So I want to give you today the insight from a good casual player, or I don't know how you see it. Like I said, you can see it here. My rating, you can see that I have all the dungeons on 23 besides Moose Rondo, which will you see what it translates into the tier list. So yeah, let's hop over the tier list. I want to talk about it with you. I want to make clear the tier list is not for people that play plus 30, plus 31, which are the highest keys worldwide at the moment, I guess. This tier list is for people that play normal keys between 15 and 25. I would say that's where between 15 and 25 is where, like, I don't know, 95 or 90% of the player base is. So that's what we are talking about today. We go over through the tier list right now. We start with we go alphabetical, I would say. So we have first Ataldazar. Ataldazar, pretty good dungeon in my opinion, pretty easy dungeon in my opinion. I like it much more on Fortified than on Tyrannical, which is common sense. I would say most people prefer much more Fortified instead of Tyrannical. But yeah, it's depending, like I said, also on maybe on the dungeon and also your preference, maybe even your class if you are better a single target or whatever. So Ataldazar, I rank it pretty good. A tier. As better they are, or as more easy they are, as higher I rank them. Ataldazar is for me A tier. I really see the only hard thing in Ataldazar is maybe one or two big pulls if you do them, and then the last boss fight that can make you struggle. Next one is Black Rook Hold. For me, by far, to be honest, the most easy dungeon in this season. The bosses are pretty easy to handle. You have a pretty nice first pull Bloodlust, second boss, last boss. It's always fitting, so everybody is kind of used to it. Yeah, so also the affixes are kind of easy to handle in Black Rook Hold. This week we have Sanguine. There are maybe one or two spots where Sanguine is a little bit tricky, but apart from this, at the end is easy to play. It is easy in Tyrannical, and it is also very easy on Fortified. So yeah, it's in my opinion by far the most easy dungeon this season. We come to the next one, which is Darkheart Thicket. If you would have asked me like 2 weeks ago when I kind of started my Mythic Plus journey, I think I would have rated it pretty easy. But as higher the key goes, as more hard it is. That means if you play Darkheart Thicket on 15, 16, 17, I think you have a good and easy time. As higher as it goes, and like I said, I'm not talking about 30 or something like this, I'm more talking about 22, 24, 25, as more hard it gets. The first pull that very often is done with Bloodlust can already cause some trouble. Then if you don't skip the 2 beers in front of the first boss, could give a trouble. First boss in general without Bloodlust can be pretty hard if managed badly, to be honest. And also the last boss is a little bit tricky, and the trash in between is on a high key, also pretty tough, to be honest. So I would rank it definitely under those twos. behind those twos. Maybe I will change later on something in the tier list, but in general, I would say Dark Art Thicket is definitely much more hard than Black Recall, and also harder than Ataldazar. Next one is Galakrond's Fall. Pretty easy dungeon in my opinion. I see a lot of people struggling with the second boss, me included. Apart from this, and maybe also the third boss, phase 2, especially the transition from phase 2 into phase 3. So sometimes the people want a Bloodlust in P3, some people want it in P2. I prefer in P2, to be honest. Can cause some trouble. Last boss is pure coordination. If you know what to do, you should be fine. In general, I would say an easy dungeon, also a fast dungeon. Much more easy in my opinion in Fortified than in Tyrannical, but also in Tyrannical I think it's pretty good doable. I think for me it is the second easiest dungeon after Black Recall. A little bit I rank it higher than Ataldazar, but again I want to make clear it's when you play keys between 15 and 25. I don't know about 30, 31, but I also guess they are Black Recall and Fall should be one of the best keys for pushing. We come to the elephant in the room. Hate it or love it. I guess 99.9% of the people hate it. We talk about Murosondo's Rise. For me, hardest dungeon in the game. I think also some other tier list websites show that. I will look maybe into one after we are here finished. Murosondo's Rise, for me, the hardest dungeon. Trash is super annoying, especially the first platform. Also later on some decent trash that can trouble you. Also the last trash before the final boss, the I think it's 3 dragons, or could be annoying. First platform, super annoying with these 3 mini bosses or however you want to call it. And also the boss fights. Maybe first boss is doable for most of the people, but then already this where the alliance and the battleground, the battlefield, however it's called, Morchi can cause some trouble, but it's then more easy. But the last boss, I forgot his name, is super hard with the orbs, especially coordinating in packs. If you have more than 2 ranges, usually heal is a range and 1 DPS, then okay, it's fine, then always the healer should go out. But in general, Murosondo's Rise, also in Tyrannical, Fortified, both very bad to play. In general, I have a tough time, and as you can see here, everything on 23, 24 besides Murosondo's Rise. For sure, also because I hate that dungeon. I'm pretty sure I can play it on 23 like all the other ones, but you know, when you don't like something, then you hate it. But for me, hardest dungeon at the moment, F tier, without any doubt, in my opinion. We come to the next one. Let me see. It's not here. Is it here in the group? No. Is it here one? No. Is here one? No. Everbloom. Yeah, Everbloom. That's a typical thing maybe now that we're talking about Everbloom, which I said before. I think low level keys, let me say, what is low level? I don't like to say 20 is a low level, but let me say between 15 and 20, maybe even 22 is kind of an easy dungeon, but as high as it gets, as more hard it is. So it starts when you cannot outgear the dungeon, and especially the damage from the 3rd and 4th boss, because they do a lot of damage, and especially the last boss has a lot of HP. Besides that, also sometimes there's trouble, maybe a bad vibe with causing a bad reset then in between 1st and 2nd boss. The trash. In general, I would say much more easy the dungeon on Fortified than on Tyrannical, but anyways, it's a tough dungeon in my opinion. But if we still talk about 15 to 25, I think we have here what we have here, a B tier together with Dark Heart. is tough. I put it now on B tier after Dark Heart, but maybe I will change something when we see the next ones. We come to what we have, Throne of Tides. I'm we already have 6. I'm pretty sure that a lot of people hate Throne of Tides, because I know it from my friends, and maybe my opinion was the same, like I said 2 weeks ago. Now I like Throne of Tides, to be honest. Maybe I think the bosses are not that hard to play. I also think the trash is, if you know the trash, if you don't make any bad pulls that lead to a wipe, if the trash is already super low, which then costs you a lot of time, like same with like a boss fight, that you maybe have a wipe like when only 8% is left. I think Throne of Tides for me is a decent, good designed dungeon. On Fortified there are maybe 1-2 pulls, but usually also this is also something that is always feeling very good. The Bloodlust usage, first pull, very big pull, second boss, last boss. So in general I think Throne of Tides, I would rank it also here into the B tier. I like it, to be honest, so my personal preference, maybe you would even put it here in front, but I think we are definitely fine here at the end of the B tier list. Throne of Tides. Crest Manor. For me a controversial dungeon, first of all because it has 5 bosses, which makes for me, in my mindset, a big difference on a tyrannical week. On a tyrannical week, playing 5 tyrannical bosses is always a little bit annoying, even if I would say that the hardest boss for me is the first boss, the witches, and then maybe the tree boss, as high the key goes. So if you have this both done, then you can maybe already like, okay, we should get it done if it's fine. It's always so tricky in Fortified dungeon. Why? Because anyways you have to play 5 bosses, and especially in this, where the tree boss is, in this garden open area, there's a lot of bad trash. Any other body or ninja pull will definitely lead into a wipe if it's not planned, so it should not happen, sure, but you never know at the end of the day. And in general, like I said, it's hard trash with the witches, with the rune weavers, or however they are called. So yeah, where I put it, I also think I would rate it B tier. I really think these dungeons are all a little bit personal preference, a little bit about the week. Dark Heart figured I would like to play much more in Fortified. Also here Fortified much better. Throne of Tides, I think both is fine. Crest, both is fine. Maybe a little bit of Tyrannical more annoying. But if I compare them all to Morusonda's Rise, even with the nerf to Morusonda's Rise that just came out this reset, so even with this in mind, I really think it's so much more the hardest dungeon compared to all the others. If we go to this side, I did not look it up before, but sure, I also think they have a tier list. Yeah, you see, they have Fall and Atal'Dazar even is now for this affix. Let me see all affixes. Blackroot Hold, Atal'Dazar, they have it here. Fall, Crest Manor, Dark Heart, but they go till 31, so seems like 31, these 3 are all so bad that kind of nobody want to play it. I think it would look a little bit different if you just go till 25 and not up to 30, 31. Because I really think that Everbloom and Throne of Tides on 22, 23 are much more easy than a Rise Key. That's only my personal opinion, but I play the game a lot at the moment, so I think my opinion has definitely kind of a value here. Dark Heart, but yeah, you see this is bare raw numbers just by all affixes. This is the tier list how I made it, so in general I would say the good dungeons are those 3, or the really easy dungeons are those 3, and then we have those that you can definitely talk about personal preferences at the end of the day, and we have Mulsonder's Rise for me far at the end of this list. That's it for this video, guys. Good luck in your dungeons. See you. Bye bye.